August 15th, 2022 Decatur County Area Plan Commission meeting to order to comply with the Title VI Civil Rights Act 1964. Decatur County requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. First item on our agenda is the approval of the July 6, 2022 minutes. Those should have been in everyone's packet. They were short and sweet. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to those? If not, I'll look for a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Good. Okay, our first item, APC petition 2022-17 Nutrien Ag. Morris Jordan is petitioning to rezone approximately 11.21 acres from an A1 zoning classification to a I1 zoning classification for business expansion. Falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 1200. Property is located 473 South, County Road 350 West, Greensburg in Washington Township. Morris, if you could come tell us about your project. Yeah, just go on up there.
It looked like you need a copy. I got basically a copy of the same thing that is. So we're gonna acquire this piece of property here. Actually, it was Joanne Coors and Mary Kay Coors. It's the red line piece. The original facility, I started there in the early 80s, and it mounted to that triangle right there that in the blue. I believe that facility was built in 68. Okay, thank you. So this part right here was the original Smith Douglas facility, which changed over crop production, which then has become Nutrien in the last few years. Then in 2005, and evidently and I'm pardon my ignorance here, but the way I understood it, this piece of property right here was grandfathered in prior to, I would assume, zoning laws or ordinances of some sort. So the way I understood it, this piece right here is not zoned industrial. This piece here I purchased in 2005 from David and Joanne Coors. And at the time we purchased that, we went ahead and that was zoned properly. Then this piece here was acquired a year ago or so ago, and I believe that piece of property was, I don't know that it's zoned, I would assume it's zoned industrial, but I don't know that. Once again, I apologize for my ignorance.
It remained at A1. It was just parking, it was just some excess acres, so there was no actual permanent structures or.
It was actually just the old railroad that we got into. A neighbor was upset over the railroad rights there, so the only thing we had on that property was actually a little parking and a support wire for a leg that we lost in a storm a few years back. So, and then this piece here is the property that Joanne and Mary Kay said that we could acquire. So moving forward and talking with Mr. Sholey, he said it would be a good idea to get everything zoned industrial to start with so that we can at least be in compliant with everything that we had. So presently, like I said, most of our operation, you can kind of see we're kind of squeezed in here a little bit. We do have a seed building over here, and just for your information, we're getting prepared to start putting in a new office building on this section here that was previously zoned when we purchased it in 05. Expansion here, we really don't have any current plans. We have thoughts of possibly trying to expand the shop area into this here, but we're not to that point yet by any means. We're just simply working on the office building right here currently, or they're hopefully Mr. Kimmer's going to start on that in the very near future. So does anyone have any questions of what we're proposing here?
is the 11.21, that's all those parcels that are not?
I would assume that's all of it.
That's everything, okay.
Mhm.
Any questions, board members? Seems fairly simple and straightforward.
The NRED's already zoned.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. You did that in 05, Morris.
Yes, we rezoned this piece right here in 05. And it's currently, the way I understood it, that's the only one that's actually zoned properly at this point.
Yeah, it was a grandfather.
Correct.
How many acres is in the new piece there, Mark?
Did we say 7? I think it's gonna be right at 7.
Basically, it's just squaring off and then back, basically, is how it's laid, and you see, that's what Joanne and Mary Kay was agreed upon.
Any other questions? Anyone? Not much of an audience, so I'm assuming we don't have any remonstrance. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'll look for a motion.
I make the motion, APC petition 2022-17. Will vote.
I'll second APC petition 2022-17.
I'll read the votes. Jay Shetler, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. Brad Shooty, yes. Ryan Kennelly, yes. Tom Terry, yes. And Sheila Kirkhoff, yes.
Okay, Morris, your petition passes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Next item on the agenda, APC petition 2022-18, Kyle McLeod petitioning to subdivide approximately 16.446 acres into 3 parcels and rezone approximately 2.99 acres of each parcel from an A1 zoning classification to an E2 zoning classification for construction, single-family detached dwelling on each parcel. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 920-7 and 915. Property is located just east of 6891 West, County Road 1100 South, Westport, and Jackson Township. If you'd like to come up and talk about your project.
So we bought this piece of property together, my son and his wife, and Andrew Brunei, who's my son-in-law, and my daughter Marley. And we wanted to divide it into 3 separate lots for each of us to build a house on. We did it the way we did. So number 1, because Marley and Andrew want to keep most of the pasture ground so they can have maybe some feeder calves and horses. And then number 2 is where my son would be, and number 3, the smaller lot, is where my wife and I would build. There would be 1 driveway coming in, which would be a part of lot 2, that's 50 foot up there. And then we would share that driveway off to go to lot 1 and lot 3. Each of us are planning to build a house there. Questions?
Looks like everything's ordered for the septic, driveway. It's all about water source.
Yeah, so the water currently comes to, you see the field next to it, that was divided off of the total property also, so the field back to the east. And then to the lot prior to that, the water, Westport water comes to there. It's our current plans to go ahead and run the water down to our lots. If we don't do that, then we've had look at it for a well also. And they said it wouldn't be a problem either, but it would be our intent to run the water from Westport down to there. I do have prices and bids and everything to do that.
So lower parcel one and then that's part of parcel one up in the
Right.
northwest corner.
So it takes in, so most of their pasture ground behind their house, which would be about 150, 120, 150 foot off the road. And then they wanted access to get back to the background for pasture as well. And my son didn't care, he wanted more of the woods, so.
Is there current driveway into there?
There is not.
So you're gonna come off the 1100
Yes.
along the property line there, or?
No, the driveway will be off of the 50 foot of lot 2 that goes out to the road frontage.
Oh, okay.
Catch all three in that one.
Oh, you have a little pointer there, that purple thing. If
Oh,
you just
thanks.
hit that trigger, you can point where you.
They're right there. Thank you.
So how wide is that? I guess is that northwest, is that north?
Yeah, it's northwest.
Yeah, that northwest corner, is that where they're planning on building a house?
There'll be a house right about there. That will be Andrew Marley's. Our house will be about there. And my son's house will be about right there.
So on Andrews, how wide is that?
That is 200 feet.
200.
So the total parcel goes 560 feet across there. So he would have 200 and then the 50 feet there, and then the balance would go to lot 3.
Sheila brought up a good point. It might not be a bad idea to just do an easement on that driveway.
We did ask
Andy,
Andy
about that.
Yes.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
you never
With the
know.
maintenance.
50 foot, I think, is what they recommended.
Yeah.
Yes.
50 foot coming off down this way. So 50 foot from the road
Would be a good
down.
idea if it ever, something
Never
changed.
sold
That
that.
and all utilities.
Yeah,
And a maintenance agreement.
you guys have any other questions? Thoughts or concerns? It doesn't look like we got much of an audience. Well, I don't mean it that way, Dave.
You object, Dave?
Look for,
I might not make it out of here.
I'll look for a motion.
Thank you.
ACC 2022-18.
A second.
Be our easiest meeting of all time.
And you left it up for next month.
Yeah, for a while.
We get you not worried about everybody's water, we get out here a little quick.
I'll read the votes. Ryan Pinelli, yes. Tom Cherry, yes. Jay Shetmer, yes. Brad Shooty, yes. Tom Hunter, yes. And Sheila Kirkhoff, yes.
And now the petition passes. Thank you for your time and keep in touch with the office as you start your development.
Great.
Being the last item on the agenda, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Did she say?
She did.
She did.
Y'all have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.